Good morning. How is everybody doing today? My name is Kathy Champion and you are back in my craft room. And this morning I thought that we are going to work with a color palette. And the colors that kind of popped out for me was a purple, sort of a heather, and a white. And I chose these two colors of ink, Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape, which will match our paper, I think, beautifully. I also kind of felt inspired to do something with this stamp set called Beautiful Friendship. This is an absolutely beautiful stamp set. You got these beautiful roses, you've got this little flower thing here. These are distinctive stamps, which y'all know I love the distinctive because when you stamp them, they look like they've already been colored. They are gorgeous. So I am going to go ahead and cut down some paper and move my vitamins out of the way. I laid my vitamins out to take and I forgot to get them before I started recording, but it's okay. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down into the card base because I want this beautiful purple to be our card, and this is a 12 by 12, so we're going to cut it to 6 by 12, and then we'll score it at 6 and we'll have a 6-inch card base. So cut, and we'll lay this over for another card. I'm going to go ahead and score this using our Stampin' Up! Trimmer and scoreboard. This works so wonderful because you have this track where you can put one blade up out of your way, and then you can use the second one that houses down at the bottom. So you can always use either your cut blade or your score blade, which is so nice. And I'm just going to score that right there. And then I'm going to take this out and I am going to fold it just like this. And I'm going to score that. I don't want to move my trimmer because we are going to cut down our other two pieces of paper. We're going to try to get our cutting done and then we will go ahead. And I'm really not sure where I want to go with this card. I just thought I would bring you along with me and we'll kind of create together. So there's our card base, and we're going to lay that up there. Now I know that that's a 6 by 6 card base, so I want my piece of heather to be 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So I'm going to cut this one down. To 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and this is going to nest right here on top of this beautiful, gorgeous grape cardstock. And there's our heather. Isn't that gorgeous? And I'm going to move my scraps, and then I'm going to cut down the piece of white. This is the piece we're going to do our stamping on. So for this one, we're going to go to 5 1/2 by 5 1/2 because I'm just going down 1/4 inch on each piece. And that will ensure me of getting that nice border that I need. So 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. And then that one will nest on top of this. And you can see that gives us our beautiful layers. And we're going to do some stamping on this piece. So let's move our trimmer, lay our card up there. And I'm going to pull over these ink pads. And we have our gorgeous grape. Oh, I do need to pull one more because I have some greenery that I want to put in. And I want an accent color, and I haven't really decided. I'm thinking maybe a blue, but let's see. All right, I'm going to put the Highland Heather here, and the gorgeous grape there, so I can see my lighter and darker. So the first thing I want to do is I want to do the rose randomly all over here, and I want to do that in the Highland Heather. So I'm just going to tap, 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 and I am going to stamp. Well, I'll tell you what, let's start here in the middle. And see how about the distinctive, how beautiful is that? I think it's so pretty. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do one off. And maybe one this way. And maybe one like this. And now I'm going to do all of these in the lighter shade of the Highland Heather. And I'm going to come down here and stamp one off. And off. This gives you a seemingly, it kind of imitates what stamped paper would be if it had gone to the press and got stamped. So you want to randomly put these down just, ever so often, and you want to turn your stamp block, turn your paper, and this will give you that effect that you're looking for. Now we're going to leave some spacing in the middle because we don't want to cover up all aspects of this paper. We want to bring in some other colors. And I heard someone say that they had tried to do this technique and that theirs did not look good. There's a couple of things that you may want to try. You may want to try a different ink. You might want to try several different stamp sets. That can make all the difference in the world. Alright, so we got the Highland Heather. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this one up. And let me grab I'm just going to grab my little chamois out so that we can just very, very gently wipe our stamps off. Just enough so that we don't have an overbleed of our ink. Now I am going to wipe this up just a little bit, and I'm just going to use a cloth so I don't wet my surface right now. Just wipe that ink up and get it off of there. Alright, so now we want to go back in, and I'm going to use these little accent pieces, and I'm going to do this in the gorgeous grape. Now this is going to be much darker, but it's also going to add some interest just by having that little splotch of color just every here and there. And again, you want to do the same thing with this. You want it on and off. You don't want it to be, where it looks like it's completely uniformed. And this can be a little time consuming, but I find this to be very relaxing when I can just grab an ink and my stamps and just kind of stamp, every here and there. I find it just to be a calming experience. So we got those done. Now I want to grab my green ink because I want to put some green leaves on here. And I think this is going to really set this crazy and make it pop. So for my green, I want something white, and that's this one right here. And we're just going to stamp some leaves now. So in doing our leaves, we just want to come in. It doesn't matter if they overlap. You don't have to worry about which way they're going. just stamp some leaves. Because, you know, what's a rose without some beautiful greenery? And I love this Highland Heather for my roses. I think it's so pretty. And we're doing the same thing. We're going to turn our paper so our leaves aren't coming off at the same place. They're just kind of, you know, here and there. And let's see, let's do this one right here. And you can see just by adding those leaves, you're starting to get some dimension. It just adds so much to your designer paper that you're actually making. And I love doing this. It's so much fun. And the good thing is you can create your paper to be whatever you want it to be with the right inks, whatever color you want it to be. And I think that that is always a true test of your artistry. You know, we all like to create. That's why we do this. Let's see, how do I want this one to fall? Maybe right there. And it looks like we need something right in here. Maybe right there. And here. And I think that's good. Now we're still going to come in with a little sprig of a different color. And I want something that's going to be kind of unexpected, because the unexpected aspect is always good. And I'm going to grab this little block, and y'all are hearing my dogs again in the background snoring. Bless their little hearts. Okay, now I need to decide what color do I want. It's almost like a dusty rose. Okay, we are back, and what I did while we were away, I went ahead and used that Rococo Rose, and I stamped that other little image that just looks like a little sprig of like baby's breath, and I stamped that randomly throughout the card. So there is our base. So what I have done is I'm going to go and cut another one of these. I've got this beautiful little sprig that came from Flourish Dies, and that's these dies right here. And this is the large piece. Let's see, maybe like that. And I'm going to cut this out one more time because I want it to kind of go across the card. So I'm going to cut one to come this way and that one going that way. And we're going to use a die, and we're going to do something across the middle to make like a label. And then we will put everything down. So I'm going to go and cut this, and I'm just going to cut it off of this other piece, and I'll be right back. Alright, I got this piece cut, and if you notice, there's still a lot of the little bits and pieces that's still in here. This is where your take your pick tool comes in so handy. When you purchase this brush to go on your take your pick, you get these little spongy, you get 2 of these with it. And this is where this comes in so handy, because you just basically run your brush over it, just like that. And it releases most of those little pieces. And any that it doesn't, you just use the other end that's your pick end, and you can pop them out just like that. Just like so. And they come out really easy, and they're kind of contained on here, and you can just take this to the trash can and put it all in the trash from there. Okay, we are back, and what I have done, as I showed you last time, I went ahead and cut out these 2 beautiful flourishes with this Flourish die. And what I'm going to do with those is I'm going to interlock these two little stems at the bottom. And I'm going to put glue on that just to hold them together. And then we are going to sit them right here on our card. And you want to pull them where you've got one that's going out to your right and one that's going straight up. And then pull them down to get them in position, just like that. I also used this little flower medallion that was in this die. I used the larger one, and I cut this out, and that is so pretty. It's very delicate, but it needed something behind it because it kind of got lost on there. So I took a 1 3/4 inch punch, punched out this little circle out of the heather, and I am just going to glue that on there, and then I'm going to use that to cover the workings of the bottom of those stems, and it gives a little more of an accent. I also use the nested stitch dies, stitch nested label dies, and as I showed you earlier, I pull these two out and I cut those right here, the darker grape color and then the Highland Heather. And we're going to actually stamp our sentiment. And I pulled my sentiment from Celebrate Sunflowers. And I love this congratulations on reaching a whole new level of wonderful. And I've decided that I'm going to send this card to my daughter. She's gone back to school to become a nurse, and I am very proud of her. And she got her certification for being CPR certified, and I'm going to send her this card as a congratulations. So it's always nice when you reach little milestones along your way and someone thinks about you and sends you a card. I think that's always a nice thing. So I'm going to grab a stamp block, and I think this one right here will work. Let's make sure I got this straight before so I'm going to line it up right here on my grid. And I think that looks fairly straight. And to stamp this, I am going to use the gorgeous Grape. I think that will stand out on that Highland Heather really well. So let's try. And I want to get this as centered as I can and yet still stay in camera frame. I'm just letting it sit there on the paper for just a moment. And beautiful. Alright, so now we can go ahead and start gluing our elements together. So the first thing I want to do is bring over my little silicone craft mat, because I don't want glue all over everything. And I am going to grab some art glitter glue. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this little medallion to this piece here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do little dabs, just like that. And then just put this down on top. No rhyme or reason, just put it on top of it. Okay, so that piece is ready. So let's go ahead and glue this piece to this. And again, I'm just going to use art glitter glue because I want a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, that piece is ready. Now we are going to glue these together. And the first thing I want to do is I want to put some glue right here where I'm going to join these together. See how I'm going to put those two little flourishes together right there? So I am going to very, very carefully put glue right here. And interlock. Just like that. Then I'm going to turn them over, and I am going to proceed to do glue along the stem. Some of the larger places where you can get glue, just make sure you get a nice little coating. This is always the hardest thing when you've got small pieces or anything like this where you've got very fine lines. Sometimes getting the glue where you want it can be a little challenging, but just take your time and you can get it on there with no problem. Just like that. I'm going to move this out of my way. That gives me a nice clean surface to put this together on. So now I'm going to bring this to here. And then I'm just going to gently press that down in place. And then I'm going to take my little medallion and I'm going to put it right here on the corner. Once you get this, glued down and nothing's moving, it makes it a lot easier of a card, to manipulate the other elements on it. And I think I want this to go right about here. And I think I'm going to pop this up. Everything else is kind of flat. So let's use some dimensions. And I'm just going to put a few of these right here. And one more right there. I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool and I'm going to use that to pick up these little backers off of here. I love using this tool for this purpose. It pulls the backers off beautifully. And not only that, but look at this. They're all wrangled on here. So I don't have them all over my desk. I can take them off, throw them all in the trash can, and I absolutely love being able to do that. So now I'm going to set this right about here. Oh, that's so pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? And I think I'm going to put a little something else on here, but I'm not sure what. So let's go ahead and put the card together and then we'll decide what else we want to do. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and glue this to the card base. So again, I'm going to do my little swirlies of glue. Just like so. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this piece. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to just do my swirlies of glue. that. And then I'm going to put this on here, leaving myself that little border, about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Okay, the only thing we need to do now is put a piece of white on our inside, and we will be ready to go with this. So let me grab, I want to grab some little jewels or something. I want to put a little something more up here on this. Haven't decided exactly what, but I'm going to grab something, and I will cut a piece of paper to go inside. And we're only going to need, we're just going to need a 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So, well, we can go ahead and cut that while we're here. No big deal. Okay, so we'll just put this here in our trimmer, and we're going to cut this down to 5 3/4. About 5 3/4. And then we have our mat for our inside. That's always a good thing. That way we can find what we want to say on the inside, or we can write a personal note, however you want to do it. So let's go ahead and glue this in, and then I will go and find what I want to put inside of it. I think I might stamp it before, and I think inside I'm going to put a very big congratulations and best wishes to you. I think I'm going to do that, and I might even use this on the corners, this little rosebud. I think that's cute. So let's pull that, and that's off of the same stamp set, Beautiful Friendship. That's what I did the front of the card with. So I love that stamp set. It is just, it's a gorgeous stamp set, and it is a photopolymer. So we're going to pull that off, and this right here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the roses like right here. And I'm going to do those in the dark purple, I think. I think that'd be really pretty. So I'm going to grab this stamp block again. And just pick that up. And I'm going back in for the gorgeous grape. And I'm going to put this right in the corner, just like that. And then I'm going to do one more up here in this corner. Very pretty. Alright, and then we need to do our sentiment. So I'm going to make sure I've got this just like I want it. And I'm going to put this right in the middle. Just like that. That, I think, is beautiful. And the darker color on the inside, I think, really makes it pop. So I'm real pleased with this, the way it turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this in. Just like so. And now we have our card done. Let me go and grab some, something, maybe some gems or some little enamel dots or something. I think I just need a little something on here. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I found these lavender gemstones, and these are a little bit larger than what I was thinking, but let's see if they will work. I'm going to put one right about here and another one let's see if we can get one right here, and then this little bow, I want to stick it right there underneath. And I think that's going to give me just what I need. And I'm going to use the mini glue dots to put this down with. So these are tiny little glue dots. They work perfect for putting your bows on. And I'm just going to take this one off with my Take Your Pick tool. And I am going to position it right here. And then we'll be able to stick this little bow right into that glue dot. And then that's not going to go anywhere. And our card is done. Is that not a cute card? I can't wait to put this in the mail for my daughter. She loves purple, and I think she's going to absolutely love this card. So I am going to sign it and call it a done deal. I hope that you enjoyed the process of watching this card come together. I hope that you would try something like this. All of the products that Stampin' Up! Sells, I will list in this video. You will see them pop up as I use them. And so you can actually go to my shop, and there's a host code that if you spend $50 between now and the end of June, you will get a free 6x6 pack of designer series paper from me. So if you are interested in purchasing something from Stampin' Up!, now would be the perfect time to do so. So that hostess code, I don't have it right here with me, but I will get it and make sure that it is in the description below this video. And I'll also put it on the screen. So anyway, I hope everybody has a wonderful day. It's raining here today, and but you know, there has to be a little bit of rain for us to really truly appreciate the sun. So I always try to find the good and positive things in everything, and I hope that you would do the same thing. You know, we are living in times right now where there's a lot of people that are hurting, and I know the answer to all the problems that our country's facing, our people are facing, and that's Jesus and His love. And it's my prayer today for each and every one of you and for our country that Jesus would let His peace and His love rain down on us. We need that more than ever. And we need to come together and love one another. No matter what our differences are, we all need to love one another. You know why? God made us all. We're all the same. You know, God's no respecter of person, and neither should we be. And I love everyone. It makes no difference what your political views are. It makes no difference what your lifestyle is. Jesus came and died for all of us, and we need to realize that. So show someone today that you care about them, that you love them, and that they mean the world to you. We never know what that other person is going through. We don't know their life, their hurt, their pain, their woes. So have compassion. Jesus has compassion on us every day. And we need to be more like him and have that same compassion on our brothers and sisters. So, in closing, I want to say, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He's so worthy. Go out and make it a beautiful day. I love you all. God bless. Bye-bye.